can't believe this just happened. What you saw was the A8S harpoon gun, a battle pickup you find in the map Thin Ice, which is one of the 4 new maps that came out yesterday with the brand new DLC Betrayal of Battlefield Hardline. And with this, let's jump in and look at the rest of the map Thin Ice. Believe it or not, this is the map I was looking forward to the least because the videos I saw pre-release weren't very impressive, mainly because it mostly showed just snow-covered rocks and a frozen lake and not much more. But I think that pre-release there just weren't enough players and therefore you didn't really get a feel of the action that can happen here. The map looked pretty but boring at the same time. But boy, will you be in for a surprise once you get into this map. You soon realize that there's a lot more to it than just rocks and ice. Not only are there many buildings, like for example blockhouses or cabins, and a big bunker with many rooms on the ground and with lots of different entries providing many flanking routes, giving you plenty of options to surprise the enemy and dominate the territory. There's also a yard with parts from wrecked planes, which is interesting to fight in, and in the middle of the map there's a huge plane rack which instantly reminded me of the map Turbine in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, but also of the Battlefield 4 map Lost Islands. If you played both games, you know exactly what I'm referring to. And as you can imagine, with this wreck being in the middle of the map and so large, with many ways to enter it and to hide, this is the place where the biggest battles happen. You can get a good taste of it in this video actually. This map totally took me by surprise as I was not expecting to have that much fun. I think I had the most fun in this map alone. And as I mentioned with other maps of Battlefield Hardline, this could very well be a map from Battlefield 4, but with a much better balance of vehicles and infantry. What surprised me is that you don't really see a lot of people use the snowmobiles that are in this map. Maybe it's because you don't really see many. I haven't really seen any. I've seen one guy drive around with it, but I haven't seen any I could have used. Or maybe it's because people just don't want to be such an easy target. But then on the other hand, there are maps where people make heavy use of motorcycles, which is kind of the same thing. However, if the snowmobiles are as hard to maneuver as the jet skis in Battlefield 4, then that would explain the situation, wouldn't it? And here you can see this like yard with all the wrecks of those planes. It seems like this used to be like a military base of some sorts, and it's probably somewhere in Alaska, I would assume, because I know in Alaska there are military stations, or at least that I know are Coast Guard stations. So who knows? I still would like to try to find out more because for me, I'm always, I've always been into game design and, games for so many years and years and years that I'm always interested on how games are made, how do they come up with their maps? How do they decide, how to build the maps, and where do they get the references from? Because I know that, game designers don't pull this all out of their head. They actually go to a location, or sometimes even several locations, take photos, shoot video, and then use that as a reference to actually design and build the map. And then, of course, they have to move things around, because a lot of times, when something looks pretty, that doesn't necessarily mean that it also works as a multiplayer map. A multiplayer map, I used to build multiplayer maps just for fun, and it's actually, there's a lot of thought that goes behind it. A lot of times when you think, oh, I'm just going to put this here and that there, and it looks like that could be a lot of fun, and then you played, you realize that a lot of things don't work. They just don't work out. You need to know exactly where the spawns are positioned. Sometimes you feel they're right, and then you played and you realize that the spawns are just absolutely not working out, or that there is no cover and people get frustrated, or there's no throwaway and you have to build something. You have to make a tunnel, put an extra door there. A rock is in the way, you need to move the rock, and you need to just move the accessibility and all that stuff. I mean, there's so much stuff that goes into a multiplayer map. So I would definitely I hope that we can find out more about how those maps are built. but a lot of times there are developer blogs and developer diaries and stuff where you can actually see it. And here, this is this huge plain in the middle of the map, which is so much fun to fight around. As you can see, there could be like enemies anywhere here. There are rocks and there are holes in the plane, and the plane is pretty long, so you know, sometimes it's really hard to defend the plane, and you just sometimes can't figure out why you can't capture the plane, because there's some enemy just sitting somewhere where you haven't looked yet. And especially now, you know, I always feel like that maps are most important to play when they're new, because everyone is new to it. So it's everyone has a, you know, it's kind of more fair, more balanced. So if everyone is new to a map, everyone knows the map kind of equally, and they're not like new people that are totally unaware of the map and people that have played the map, you know, over and over and over for 1,000 hours and just have complete advantage over you. So I feel like the balance is always a lot better, and I usually like playing maps a lot better at the beginning when the game is new. But I have to say that in Battlefield Hardline, I have enjoyed this game, you know, ever since it came out a year ago, and I have played this game probably non-stop. I just quickly went back to Battlefield 4, you know, a couple of times, but more or less I actually played this game, and I even, you know, prefer playing this game over some single players that came out in the meantime, because I just have so much fun. And if I don't play this for a week or two, then I miss it already and I want to go back and play it again. And it's funny, you know, there's so many of us who love this game so much, and we love to go on Facebook and, you know, kind of like just go into the comments section when, you know, Visceral and Battlefield post some news about this game, and just kind of see how many negative comments there are and all those stupid things that people say about it just because they're like hateful, you know, they have like had a bad day and they just have to say something negative about it. And sometimes it's kind of hilarious to read those comments and just know how silly those people are. And you know, it doesn't really change our opinion on the game, because we know this game is amazing, it's a lot of fun, and that's all that counts, and it doesn't matter how many haters there are. But I hope you could see that this map actually is a lot of fun. And if you happen to play this, you definitely have to try out the battle pickup, the harpoon gun, and see what the damage you can do with it. It's actually pretty insanely overpowered, so I can just imagine a lot of people will start saying that it needs to be nerfed in some way, and you know, we'll see. But it's a battle pickup, thank God. It's not like, you know, a weapon that you can equip for good, and so we'll see. You know, but I can't wait to try it again and see what kind of damage it does with vehicles. I wasn't really able to find a vehicle to take down when I had it, and as you know, with the battle pickups you have like limited ammo. I think in this harpoon gun you have maybe like 2, maybe 4 harpoons, I'm not even sure. And I actually looked it up. This harpoon gun actually exists in real life. It's an Aero A8S pneumatic harpoon gun that's meant obviously to be shot underwater. So I find it kind of funny that they have thought of using it in this game, and maybe this gun even does work if you use it out of the water. I don't know. I just think it's funny. And by the way, I actually also got killed by a sword yesterday. Not this guy, that was a knife, but by a sword yesterday, and that was actually, I never saw the sword, but I got killed with it. So I can't wait to see, and actually probably gonna equip it just to see what it looks like. It's supposed to look really pretty. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you next time when we review the last map of the 4 from the DLC Betrayal, and have a good time. Take care. Bye bye.